We have some really big news, so stay tuned to the end of the video.
Oh yes, it's such good news, so hang out with us. Hey friends!
I'm Steve.
And I'm Angela.
And we are Midlife Cruising.
So today's going to be a little different. We thought we would sit down and tell you a little bit about us. We're getting so many questions about all the things. Are you retired? What did you do? There's just been so many questions. We thought now would be a good time to start and tell you a little bit about ourselves. So if it's morning time when you're watching this, go grab a cup of coffee or maybe a tea. If it's the afternoon, maybe get a big bowl of popcorn and
Craft beer.
A craft beer, maybe an old fashioned, something so you can hang out with us for a little bit and chat.
We are still patiently waiting for the Odyssey to take off. Each day we're getting updates, and so we're just about there. So hopefully in the near future, we're going to be out of here.
Yes, for sure. A little bit of background. We met in the 7th grade. We went to the same middle school and we're basically neighbors. I was originally born in northern Indiana, and when I was maybe in kindergarten or 1st grade, relocated to Florida with my mother and brothers and sisters.
And I had sort of the same story, moved from Missouri down to Florida just about the same time. What a coincidence.
It was fate. So we were really close friends all through middle school and high school. And one of our fun stories is, okay, now we were really good kids. But in 7th grade, we skipped school. We both told our moms we were sick, and we stayed home and we walked over to Sight, which is a local convenience store in Bradenton, Florida, and we bought Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookies and milk and went back to his place, and I think I watched TV and you played on your
Commodore 64
or Dot Matrix, the whole computer thing, and that was our big, rebellion as 7th graders. But fast forward, great friends all through middle school and high school, even enrolled our 1st year in college, so we took a lot of classes together. And then I tell everyone about our junior year of college. She got really hot and it was all over for me then.
I'm blushing.
So fast forward, we got married in our 20s somewhere, and this coming anniversary will be 30 years of marriage. So I think I'll keep them.
I was a deputy sheriff in Central Florida and did my entire career there, and retired in 2021.
With a full pension. And I was a middle and high school teacher, predominantly teaching English and reading, a little bit of home ec. I had my other certification to do that, so I got to do that for a few years, but mainly English and reading. I was a Bull, USF, Tampa, pre-football years. Rewind a little bit, in 2009, we went to Nicaragua. We went on a mission trip and we fell in love with the country, the people, the culture, just everything about it. We wound up buying property there in 2011, and we hosted mission teams for 10 years. Everything from medical missions. My brother's a doctor, so he came and did some medical missions for us. We had plumbers installing toilets. We had electricians. We had a hairstylist come and do free haircuts. We worked closely with a lot of the local churches and basically asked them what they needed and how we could assist. So we kind of covered the gamut of all things missions for about 10 years there. And in 2018, there was a civil unrest in the country. And that was in April of 2018. A few months later, we wound up going to another part of Nicaragua, which was more of a touristy area, so there wasn't really any problems there at the time. Wound up buying a place there, so once we did fully retire, we wound up spending most of our time there in Nicaragua, and it happens to be a cruise port. We are cruisers, so it's fun watching cruise ships roll in. So that's a little bit about our life in Nicaragua, and we think if this adventure ever slows down or ends, we may go back there. We are renting our place out to a friend in Nicaragua.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob. So we're not letting it go. We're holding on to it because, you never know where life will take you. And we're very comfortable there. So we really love Central America.
Me encanta Nicaragua.
No, mucho, mucho. So 2018 was quite a year for us. Same year of the uprising in Nicaragua, that same month and almost to the day. I'm gonna cry. It's been so long. In 2018, I lost my mother. Wow. You think you can talk about things so freely after time, but wow. You talk about it.
And then 6 weeks later, she lost her eldest brother. And then sometime after that, she was getting 2 surgeries on, a surgery on each foot to repair some problems that she had. And
think of plantar fasciitis on steroids.
Yes, and had that repaired. So that was on a Thursday. You had surgery. And this for the second foot, so she's laid up on a Saturday morning, and I woke up, went into the kitchen to make coffee, and just things went black for me. And I woke up sort of sliding down the kitchen wall. So
I look over, I hear thud. He's like coming off the wall, like he fainted. And I was like, whoa, well, it's not like I could run to him. It was the day before I had foot surgery, so I'm laid up. So we get him to come. He comes and sits on the couch, relaxes a little bit. I start messaging my brother, the doctor, what should we do, kind of thing, because he seems fine at this point. Sometimes you think, oh, I just got up too fast, that kind of thing. So we wound up going about a block or 2 away. We were in Winter Haven, Florida at the time, and we went to the pharmacist. We wanted to use the blood pressure cuff, and so the pharmacist said, well, I'm not busy, let me come check. And they came out, and she came out and checked him, and she said, your blood pressure is fine, but your heart rate is
really slow.
Do you remember what she said? Wasn't it 40 something?
I think so, in the 40s.
So it was in the 40s. She said, you need to go to the hospital, get checked out. This isn't okay. So keep in mind, foot surgery, I'm on one of those.
The wheelies?
The wheelie where you have your knee bent, then you push with the other foot like a skateboard, and I have to drive. So thankfully it was my left foot in the big boot, so I could drive with my right foot. And so we went 1 block away to the walk-in clinic, and Steve, go ahead.
The doctor came in. She had just done a stint with a cardiologist, so she was very familiar with cardiology, and she knew I was a deputy there in the county, and she said, I tell you what, I've already refunded your payment. I've refunded your payment. You and Angela go back to your house, pack a bag full of clothes, your phones, your chargers, and everything, and go straight to the hospital, because you're going to be there. You need some serious advanced cardiac care. So that's exactly what we did. Went back and packed our bags, and
we went straight to Lakeland Regional, and I wheeled my way in, and they thought I was the patient. I'm like, no, it's him. I know they took us in, and surprisingly, it's one of the busiest heart places, and there was nobody there, which they said never happens.
Saturday night at 6 o'clock in an emergency room, and no one was there.
Yeah, so they took us straight back. They hooked them all up, and it was right before shift change. I think shift change was at 7. So nurses are coming in and out, doctors. We see the nurse walk over to the screen, and she goes, oh, you're going to need a pacemaker. We're like, what? And then that next nurse comes over, looks at the screen. Oh yeah, I'm thinking, wait, what? And then shift change happens. Same thing. New nurses come in. They're looking. We hadn't seen the doctor hasn't really come and done anything yet. Oh, you're gonna need a pacemaker. So this is what we're hearing. I remember picking up my phone and messaging, I think I messaged Yvette, the pastor's wife, and said, Steve can't make praise team tomorrow morning. You might need to cover him during service. It was just such a whirlwind.
Yeah, so I felt like when we were in the emergency room, I sort of felt like a Ford tractor, and the doctors were basically saying you're going to need a pacemaker. So it's just a quick fix, just like an alternator and a tractor. You just need a new alternator.
Well, first Steve had the heart cath test. The cardiologist came out to me and said his plumbing looks really good. He's where he should be for his age. And this was 3 or 4 days in with all the testing. And he said, I need to pass you on to an electrophysiologist and let them check, because obviously there's something very wrong, but it's not your plumbing. Your plumbing looks good. So a few days go by. They do a heart MRI. Mm-hmm. They do a stress test, which best story ever. I think you need to share this. Eat more popcorn, drink more coffee. This one's worth it.
Okay, so they wheel me in to the stress test area, and they have 3 rooms, and then you're on deck for one of these rooms where they administer the test. And it's the chemical stress test where they inject, I guess, an adrenaline or something to get your heart going. So they get me in a room. Now I'm the next one to have the test done. And in the room next to me, let's say I'm in 3, in 2 they're administering the test to an older lady. So I hear her explain everything that's going to happen. It's going to elevate your heart rate. We're going to do this for 10 or 20 seconds. Then I'll give you another dose, which will bring your heart back down. It's basically painless. They just look for all these indicators on all their machines of how your heart's doing during this test. Well, they administer this adrenaline or whatever it may be. If you're a doctor or a nurse and you work in a cardiology unit, let me know what that is that they get you with. But anyway, it speeds our heart rate up, and all I know is the lady said, wait, hold on, stop. Everything's going black.
It hurts.
I can't feel my arm.
I say, now that was the stress test. They just want to see how I reacted hearing that next door. There were probably actors behind a curtain.
Oh my goodness. And then everything worked out fine. It worked out great for the lady. But then when they come to administer me, oh my gosh.
He's like, no, I can't do it.
Please don't do whatever you did to that lady to me.
So, that was the real stress test.
Yeah, anyway, that test went fine. I passed with flying colors. It's just, I just have an electrical issue, and they don't really know the cause, but they know one thing: the pacemaker could fix it. So a lot of consultations between the cardiologist, electrophysiologist, and some different universities that they consulted with. So some really great medical minds, and I went into surgery for an hour or 2. I don't know. I don't really remember it. And then, yeah, I'm good as new now. So
defibrillator pacemaker. He has the 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah. So everything's fine, and I get a yearly checkup, and it's worked wonderfully.
And we will jump off the ship every year. We'll probably jump off the ship more often than that, but we'll jump off the ship every year so he can have a checkup. They need to check his battery to make sure he's, it's still going. And we can really do that anywhere in the world. We have a cardiologist in both Nicaragua and the United States, but sometimes you kind of need to go back to that home-based doctor. So we'll still do that every year. We already had the first one planned, and it's actually not too far off, so we'll be jumping off for a week or 2. And of course, we probably didn't share earlier, but we do have one daughter, and she's 27, so we'll go visit her, and we already have her scheduled to come visit us too. They have a friend and family program for the Villa V Odyssey, so she'll be able to come visit us, and of course we'll go see her. So we were back in the States in March of this year, 2024, and I'm a YouTuber. I love watching YouTubes.
She loves watching YouTube.
Well, you have your favorites too. I started watching Trent and Allie, who are van lifers. Never planned on living in a van. I just really enjoyed them. And years later, now they're doing, building their own house, and they have a couple kids. It's just funny how you've kind of become part of their family. And Life Uncontained, where they build they built their home from scratch out of container homes. I've been watching them for years before they had pre-kids, and now they have 3. So I've just always enjoyed YouTube. And then Steve uses YouTube for what we call the rabbit hole. Like, I want to be able to make the best pizza in the world, and he'll watch every video on how to make pizza dough and then pizza sauce. And by the way, you have not had pizza until you've had Steve's.
We were lucky enough to have a wood-fired pizza oven in Nicaragua, and so I really went down the rabbit hole with dough, pizza sauce, best ingredients, fermentation times, protein content of flour.
See what I mean? This was all from YouTube.
It's pretty deep.
So Steve said, hey, let's YouTube this adventure, this Villa V Odyssey adventure, traveling the world. Plus this will give us, if we could get to the point where we make money, we can do better excursions and day trips and do all the cool things. And
I do like cool things.
Yeah, he likes cool things. Oh, that's why you like me. That is why we started it. It's just been, we're under the 4-month mark, but we're almost to the 4-month mark. We actually tried 10 years ago. We were big hikers, and we did a few videos on the Appalachian Trail, but that was 10 years ago. We couldn't even do it. So we revisited this, started it just under 4 months ago, and we already monetized a week or so ago. So that was our goal.
Thank you so much, by the way. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, you will allow us to do excursions, which will give us even better things to film. So yes. That was really our goal. I know a lot of people say, oh, I just want to share, and that's great. But I always, we need to make a little money to do cooler things so Steve can experience more craft beers all over the world. And just to be able to do all the things we want to do.
And speaking about the Appalachian Trail, have any of you been on the Appalachian Trail? Let us know in the comments below. I think that'd be so cool to know that, friends of ours on YouTube have hiked sections or the whole thing. Wow, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and we by the way, we were midlife hikers for years. That was my email, like that was our thing. And once we decided to do this adventure, we became midlife cruisers. We do have like probably a good 50 cruises under our belt. We lived in Florida. We had access to 5 cruise ports. So every spring break, every summer, like for so many years, that's just what we did. And then once we retired, we started doing those month-long transatlantics, really spreading our wings. And I kind of had convinced him, let's take 1 year and ship hop, and because I know how to find the best deals, Vacations to Go or Cruise Plum or last second deals or whatever we needed to do. I'm like, we can just get off and get on the next one, like back to back to back to back to back. And so he kind of agreed. So I wrote it all out, and I tried to do like a 3-month window. And we had to factor in things like, we'll always want Wi-Fi. I'll always want decent coffee. Okay, does that ship allow laundry or not? All these little extra things. And no matter what I did, and I mean, I know how to get some good deals. We couldn't find anything that beat the cost of this Villa V that, like I said, we didn't even know about it until March, because I think it was JJ Cruises did a video on it. So we watched their cruise video. I'm like, what is this? So I talked to him about it and talked him into it. Ladies, keep doing it. Don't give up. Because it took me, well, I won't say it took me too long, because by the time I first learned, and before I was making the call to the to Ann, she's like the head of her sales, supervisor of sales, something like that. We called Ann and we made a few phone calls, and next thing you know, we were buying this, and it had only been a week from the JJ Cruise video to the, okay, we're buying this. It took me a couple days to convince them to we're doing it, we got to do it. So here we are. I hope maybe you're on your second cup of coffee now, or thanks so much for staying with us if you lasted this whole video. Hey, for those who stuck around for the big news, the exciting news, we have been going back and forth with Villa V, and we have negotiated a deal, something that's fair for both Villa V and for us, and we are staying in the Ocean View. Yeah. Woohoo! Never thought that would happen. We got it, we got it all worked out. They're happy, we're happy.
It's amazing.
So
thank you, Villa V.
yeah, thank you, Villa V. Woohoo!
And if you're considering coming on this cruise with us, there is a link below in the description, and just click on that, and it gives you really all the information. We get a ton of questions each video, and most of the answers are contained in the website. So take a look, scroll around.
And remember, you can rent a segment. And a lot of people are like, oh, I wouldn't know if I'd like it. Well, come try it out. The segment's anywhere about 30-ish. I think it's 31 or 32 to up to like 120-ish days. And segments are based on a region. So it might be the South American section.
Caribbean.
Right.
Asia.
So if there's a certain section you're interested in and you want to rent a segment, they have a segment kind of rental price. And you can just call the sales advisor. They'll talk to you and you can work it out. But just give them a call. They're super friendly. And try it out that way. And then come hang out with us. Thanks so much
Thank you.
coming along with us. A big shout out to those who've been buying us coffees. It's been amazing. Amazing. We really appreciate it. I'll get Steve to pop up the names here somehow because he's the editing guy, not me. I'm just along for the ride. I do the comments. He does the editing.
Yeah, thank you all that have sent us coffees. We've had some and they've been amazing.
Yeah, when they're on you, they're extra good for some reason, for
Thank
sure.
you so much.
Thank you. From the bottom of our heart, thanks for coming along. Thank you for joining in this journey with us. And if you have more questions, as always, put them in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up, all those YouTube-y things we're supposed to say. And we have a lot more videos planned and scheduled, so stick around. Bye, friends.
Bye, friends.